Hello there, my friends, and it's nice to see you. Welcome to the lesson. Today's live lesson is a bit different. It's a Q&A. That means question and answer. You can ask me some questions. I will try and give you the answer. It'd be very, very interesting, slightly different from what we normally do, but I think you will enjoy it. I hope we can find lots of interesting answers for you. So listen, to begin, let's kick off with some of this. Hello there, nice to see you. How are you today? Good, great, good to hear. I'm good. Recently I've been doing a little bit of exercise and my arm is really hurting. I think I overdid it in my exercise today. Be careful not to overdo it when you get out there doing your exercise, keeping fit. But not to worry. So today it's question and answer. For those of you who join the live lessons regularly, this is a slightly different format. Normally I choose a topic and we discuss and teach and practice and learn about that topic. What I'd like to do today is just something a bit freer, question and answers. The class might be slightly shorter, maybe just an hour, but hey, still an hour. And it's your opportunity to ask me some questions and give me some answers. You can ask me any question, really. You can ask me about IELTS, but if you want to ask me about me and my life, that's fine. If you want to ask me about teaching or learning languages, or I don't know, about being on YouTube and creating a YouTube channel, being a YouTuber, running an online business, whatever, it's entirely up to you, right? So that will be great. Let me see who's in the house and how are you? Coco Mien Hien Set from Myanmar. Hello. Steve is always one of the first in the house. Irene from Nigeria. Nice to see you. It is a gorgeous morning, says Gohulria. Great. We've got Rinsi from Sri Lanka. Jeffrey, good morning there. From Vietnam, Hai Bara Bak. Nice to see you. And from Turkmenistan, Chari, you're one of our regulars here, I know. Mohammed, great to see you. Ibrahim, I should call you. Lovely, good. Who else is here? Zara, nice to see you as well. Good. So lots of people from around the world. It's great to be here. Let me just very briefly go through what we'll do today, because questions and answers for an hour might be a bit strange or a bit heavy. So we're going to do a few other things as well, right? So we'll start off with some live questions. So you can ask me some questions, as I said, and I'll answer them. I'm going to share with you some questions and answers from Facebook. So I have a group on Facebook, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. So I asked people what questions, and a lot of people said, it's a secret. We're not going to tell you. Wait until Thursday. Fair enough. But some people, they did ask some questions, and I gave some answers, and I've recorded that, and I'm going to share that with you so we can watch some of those answers as well. I thought we could chop it up a bit. So I want to do a little bit of teaching and today, not just question and answer. So in the middle, we'll do a little bit around language tips. And language tips today, I'd like to focus on vocabulary. And I'm going to look particularly at prefixes and how you can use prefixes to help you expand your vocabulary and really be more flexible in creating meaning when you speak. So there'll be some nice language tips today. Of course, we'll do lots of questions and answers, but also I've got a visualization for you. And if you've not been here before, now and again, I like to do something that is a bit relaxing. It's learning English as you relax. So we're going to look at the topic of cities and I've got a visualization around cities. It's a bit like a meditation, and you just let the language flow over you. You relax, because IELTS can be a bit stressful. This is a nice way to relax and learn as well. So that's it. That's what we've got planned for today. All of that. So just before we begin, because for those of you who are on YouTube, please do remember to subscribe. Do turn on the notifications so you can find out about my new upcoming videos. And just a note, with my new videos, I normally do a video every Saturday, but that is about to change. I'm going to do a video every second Saturday. It's just, I'm trying to reduce my workload. I want to put my family and my health first. So there is a lot of work, and I just decided just to do 2 videos a month, every second Saturday. I will still do the live lessons every week, but the recorded video on Saturday will be every second Saturday. There's one coming up this Saturday. And that's it. Some people have said to me, oh, hang on, other things, Facebook group. Yes, Facebook page, Facebook group. If you're on Facebook and you want to join us on the group, get some motivation, get some insights into some different things, and you can often find out about things I'm doing before anybody else. Join the Keith Mastermind community for IELTS Speaking. Come and join us on Facebook. Some people on YouTube were surprised to know I have a website. I said, Keith, I didn't know you had a website. I do have a website. It's called the Keith Speaking Academy. And on there's lots of stuff. So listen, let me show you actually a little bit about the website. I'm just going to give you a mini tour of the website so that you know the things that are out there and how I can help you through the website. Okay, let me just show you this very briefly. How I can help you with my website, Keith Speaking Academy. You can get information about the IELTS test, format evaluation, and the different parts of the test. I've got the free live lessons, which means you can watch me on YouTube or Facebook and follow all of the lessons, download the lesson notes, or you can even study the different lessons directly on the website. You can download all of the the previous lessons, PDF, and study those lessons. If you're interested in the family, go and watch that lesson. You can watch it, you can read it, and you can just download everything you need here. Also, if you want to look at the blog, there are different tips and ideas to help you in different areas of IELTS. And I've got the resources, different tools, guides on vocabulary pronunciation, study plans if you like, and so forth. I can also help you with my online courses. If you want to study with me, you can find out about my online courses here on my website or Udemy. It's the same course, exactly the same course that you can get. You can buy here, and this tells you if you want to find out more, you can watch the video and find out more about that course. Likewise, if you want to focus on your fluency, not just IELTS, but general speaking, you can sign up for my fluency course, which is on Udemy. And here, wow, Udemy, they've got lots of discounts on. They keep doing sales that I never know about. And here you can improve your fluency and learn different pronunciation and start to use the grammar without thinking. If you like, you can preview the course and watch 1 or 2 videos. And if it's right for you, you can go ahead and buy it. Other things, I can also help you through my YouTube channel. Lots of videos, but also recently the shorts. So this YouTube channel is fairly new, and it's just learning English in less than a minute. Lots of pronunciation practice on different topics that you can do in just under a minute. Quite fun. Which city would you like to visit? So there you go. These are all different ways that I think I can help you. So now you know what I can do to help you. So listen, let's kick in with some questions, right? We're looking at questions around well, anything, right? If you want to ask me about IELTS or about me or business, let's have a quick look. I'm just going to click a couple of things. So, oh, this is interesting. Mugda. I had my speaking test last Sunday. It went on pretty well. I was completely reliant on your videos and was confident while speaking. That's great. Well done. I hope you get a good result. Aisha says, I don't know any English, so how can I know English? Aisha, first of all, that's not true. Because how can you write this question if you don't know any English? Right? So you know a little English. But if you only know such a small amount of English, I think you have to learn through your own language. If you can find a teacher who speaks your language and can teach you English through your native language, that might be easier. If you can find a teacher who can teaches the direct method, and the direct method is what I learned as a teacher, you can also do that. But you need somebody who can teach you the direct method, it's called. I'll just write it down. The direct method of teaching, which means you only use English to teach people, right? It's the way that we teach. Take that off. Formatting. You don't want to see the formatting. Behind the scenes. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Good. Let's kick in then. Some other questions we've got. Reham. Tell your husband to give the headset back. Okay. I'm looking over here because this is where the comments are. So Song says, I will have an IELTS test in September, but I'm not sure in my ability. I'm not sure about my ability. Let's just change that. I'll just help you a little bit. So this is not a question, I realise, but it's an interesting point because what do you do if you don't know your ability or your level? Well, what you can do is find a teacher and do a mock test, right? Do a mock test, and that can help you discover exactly your ability and your level. You can find teachers maybe on Cambly or italki to do that. You can try takeielts.net is one that I have tried and like. I think they are very good and they give some good feedback. You can try that one as well, takeielts.net. And they're pretty good. I think they're pretty good. They can help you find out your ability, right? Okay, let's have a look. More questions. Piano tutorial. Can we learn 2 years from band 3 to band 8? Do you mean go from band 3 to band 8 in 2 years? It's not black and white. It's not easy to say. I would say, okay, let me reframe it. Normally, to move one level, one band, let's call it, you need about 100 and, let's say 150 hours of guided learning. This is what Cambridge say, right? And Cambridge are one of the key partners in IELTS. Guided learning means normally with a teacher or a course or a book, but it doesn't have to be guided. So 150 hours. So it depends how many hours a week you learn, right? I think most people kind of do with learning language. They spend maybe 3 hours a week or 4 hours a week. If you're doing 5 hours a week, then that's 20 hours a month. So over 10 months, that's 200 hours. So in about 9 months, you could do one level. So I think most courses I see, most people do like 9 months, an academic year for one level. So to go from a band 3 to band 8, 5 years, right? And that's reasonable. Of course, you may speed it up. You may do intensive courses. You may study 20 hours a week, and then it will be quicker, right? But by and large, that's some kind of guidance about time, right? To learn IELTS. Okay, let's see. What is a mock test? A mock test is a practice test. So it's a test under exam conditions, and where you go through the whole test like an exam, and then somebody, a teacher, or Take IELTS, the company, give you feedback. They give you the result and the feedback. Okay, that's a mock test. Priya, can I turn to you in person for mock test? I'm afraid not. Not at the moment. I'm not doing mock tests at the moment, and I'm not doing any one-on-one teaching at the moment. No. As I mentioned, I'm kind of reducing my workload, so I'm not doing that at the moment. Sorry about that. Okay, another IELTS question from Ree Fathers. Let me move over here, Ree. Let me put your question up here. Sir, I asked the examiner to repeat the questions 3 times in different questions. Will it affect negatively? And the last time when I said to repeat, I said that the time is over. I have to finish. He said, je. I thought you were speaking French. Je, me. He said. Right. If you don't understand a question or you don't hear correctly, it's a very good idea to ask the examiner to repeat. Could you say that again? I didn't catch that. Could you repeat? Would you mind repeating? These are all great phrases to use. And you can ask the examiner once, twice, 3 times. It will not affect you negatively. That's fine. If you're asking 10 times, then probably the examiner thinks you have a comprehension problem. You have a listening problem. But this is not the listening test. This is the speaking test. So the examiner will ignore the fact you can't understand. They only focus on your speaking, your output. So it's fine, absolutely fine. The last time I said to repeat, he said the time is over. Well, the exam is 11 to 14 minutes. You've finished your time. Of course, the more you ask the examiner to repeat, you're using up your time. You are wasting time, but it's not a problem. It's better to understand correctly than to misunderstand and give a terrible answer. So, Rifath, don't worry. Absolutely fine, right? Great question. Nice. Let me just put up those comments because I think those are useful. Hey, you're here again. Instead of can, I would say, could you repeat that? You can show off your English, right, if you want. I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it? Oops. Could you repeat that? Try with me. Could you repeat that? Could you repeat that? I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it? Split it up. I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it? Or a really nice one, especially if your examiner is British, because British love using, would you mind? We use that all the time. Would you mind passing the salt? Great. I love it. Would you mind repeating that? It's great language, right? I mean, also showing off as you're asking. Would you mind repeating that? Lovely. Great. Thank you for that question. BTS Army. Is using idioms in writing good? Generally speaking, no. No. Generally speaking, idioms are part of spoken language. You can use them in the general writing for letters to a friend and informal writing. But in academic writing, we tend not to use them, not so much. Journalistic writing, if you're writing for a newspaper or, when you read newspapers, they use idioms, they do. But for academic writing, sometimes, but not that much. I would tend to focus your idioms on speaking, right? Again, it's not black and white. It's not no, never. It depends on the idiom and the context. Nice question. Thank you. Emmy, the topic today is question and answers. Let's have a look. Any other questions? Okay, this is nice. This is a non-English question. Page 1. Is that Jordan? Page 1? I think it might be. Keith, where are you from in the UK? I'm from Manchester. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, right? And I say believe it or not because I don't really have a Mancunian accent. But I was born and bred in Manchester, went to school in Oldham, lived in Middleton. But I left when I was about 18 and went to uni in Sheffield. And then I began travelling the world. And I've not stopped travelling since then, basically. So that's it. Yeah, good question. Thank you. Chan, how you are this much cool. Let me show you how cool I am by helping you with this question, right? It's great. Remember, we've got an inversion. How are you? And when we talk about quantity, you don't need much. How are you this cool? There you go. That's a lovely question. Come on, I'm not cool at all. Not at all. But thank you for the question. I just tend to relax. I think in life, having a sense of humour is pretty important. And I take things with a pinch of salt. I try to take things with a pinch of salt. Do you know that expression? Take things with a pinch of salt means don't take things too seriously. It doesn't really matter too much. So that's my philosophy on life. There's an expression. Let me share that expression with you. Take things with a pinch of salt. Let me put this up here. Oops. Take things with a pinch of salt. Means don't take things too seriously, right? Life's too short. We are but candles in the wind, right? Okay. Ciao, back to IELTS. Can we use slang in IELTS writing? No. No, do not. No. Ramiz, comment. Your great lessons make me self-confident and more smart. Brilliant. Pleased to hear that. Great. So we've got a grammar question. What is a pronoun? Well, a pronoun, if I give you some examples, you can probably tell me. A pronoun. Him, her, them. Right? These are pronouns. Basically, they're replacing I, he, you, they. Well, those are all pronouns as well. They're replacing the noun. So you've got I, you, he, they. If you think of nouns, let's take, for example, Keith. Let's take Manchester. These are all name nouns, but sugar, right? These are all nouns. And if you want to replace the noun, you use a pronoun. So, for example, Keith, I, Manchester, it, sugar, it, but also you, he, they, him would be your indirect pronouns, him, her, them. So basically, a pronoun replaces a noun. Simple as that. Let me change the font. Pronouns. Pronouns replace nouns. Let's keep it in the plural. Make it a bit tidier. A little bit anyway. So that, yeah, those are pronouns. They basically, you're replacing the noun with other words. Those are your pronouns. I wonder if they exist in every language. I assume that they do exist in every language, but maybe they don't. I don't know. Okay. Right. That wasn't a it was a what's the next question? I am Elisa. Hello, Elisa. How are you? Sir, how to practice to improve my IELTS score because I got only 3.5. Right. Okay. First of all, 3.5, that's fine. No problem at all. Don't worry about it. That's where you are. It's good to know where you are. One thing to do is to decide where you need to focus. Do you need to work more on your speaking, your writing, your reading, or your listening? If we're talking about speaking, then you need to start practicing, but at a low level, right? Don't jump into a conversation about climate change with 5 other students. That will destroy your confidence. So start practicing at a low level. Maybe just listening to some intermediate or pre-intermediate passages, right? Listening to some texts or audio and just repeat the words. Repeat the words. Repeat some phrases and do that. And then slowly try practicing. Ask yourself some questions, right? Where are you from? What do you do? And practice answering just yourself. So you're practicing speaking. And then maybe find a speaking partner who you can practice with. Make sure you find somebody of a similar level. Again, not somebody much better than you, because that might not help you unless they're teaching you. So it's practice. And your focus, do not focus on IELTS, right? If your level is 3.5, do not focus on IELTS exam technique. Focus on improving your English overall. Right? Love your avatar, by the way. Nice. Great. Let's come round and see any other questions at the moment. Right. Mary Jane says, could you please suggest us good series for learning English except Friends? Everybody watches Friends, right? Because I watched it and I love it, but I want to know your preferences for a teacher for learning. Well, the reason I'm hesitating is because my preferences are, no, your preferences are as important as mine. So it's really important you watch something that you enjoy, that you're interested in. So if I say, if somebody says to me, Keith, watch Friends, I'll say, well, no, actually, I don't like Friends. I don't want to learn with friends. I'd rather watch something like a science documentary. That will help me because I'm interested in that. So your preferences are as important as a teacher's. For me, the series that I've watched that I think is accessible, gosh, this is going to be hard to say. I like comedies and sitcoms. So things like, actually, Friends, Big Bang Theory. Comedies and sitcoms are good because they're conversation based, right? They're based around everyday life, everyday conversations. When you watch like the Marvel films, there's not that much conversation, and the conversation is not things you use every day, right? Let's take my hammer and destroy the enemy. Yeah, you don't say that at the breakfast table every day. So kind of conversation based programs and series like sitcoms, I think are much better. News programs are great, right? I mean, I listen a lot to BBC documentaries. There are some great documentaries on Curiosity Stream. It's a paid for, like most streaming services, but they're really good. I mean, I would go and check them out if you like documentaries. And documentaries, again, are good because they tend to speak slowly and clearly because they are explaining things. So documentaries are good, whether it's about climate change, science, space, and you get a wide range of topics, right? So, long answer, Mary Jane. But go and check out Curiosity Stream. I have it and I can recommend it. Curiosity Stream. Go and have a look. They've got some really interesting stuff. Right. Okay. I'm going to take one more question and then chop it up a little bit. Ah, this is a nice segue, right? Naja says, please explain a bit about suffixes and prefixes. It's as though you can read my mind, my friend. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to jump straight in to some language tips, right? How did you know this? My language tips today are about prefixes. So basically, a prefix is a couple of 2 or 3 letters, right? It's a syllable that comes before a word and changes the meaning. A suffix is a syllable or 2 or 3 letters that come after a word and change the meaning. So, Naja, I'm going to take you off and I'm going to jump straight into this, right? So prefixes are several letters. Let's put it in simple language. Several letters before a word that change its meaning, right? And just for your reference then, suffixes, as you said, where are you? Suffixes are several letters after a word that changes its meaning. Right? For example, understand. A suffix will be misunderstand. The suffix is the prefix, the prefix. So understand is the word and miss is the prefix, right? Okay, I'm going to focus on prefixes today rather than suffixes, but now you know what they are. I'm just going to share a few with you because learning vocabulary using prefixes is a great way to expand your vocabulary. Once you learn the basic prefixes and their common use, it just gives you much more flexibility and they sound good because not everybody uses them and they're really, really, really useful. So let me show you some of the common prefixes, right? So we're talking about prefixes just to make this clear here, right? Let me start down here. For example, pre means before, right? So for example, preschool means before school. We talk about preschool, well, different things. We talk about preschool children. It can be an adjective, actually, and I think it's also used as a noun. Preschool children are children around the age of 3 to 5 years old, right? A preschool class is a class for children before school, like 3 to 5 years old. Preschool is as a noun, it's also used to mean the kindergarten. Or in the UK, we talk about reception. But any kind of kindergarten, we'll say it's a preschool. It's a preschool. So just to be clear, a preschool child is around 3 to 5 years old. So it's before beginning school, their school life. Pre-meeting, right, as an adjective. Let's go for a pre-meeting coffee to get ready, right? We've got a meeting at 10 o'clock. How about we go for a pre-meeting coffee at 9:30 and we can get ready for the meeting? Pre-meeting, it's before the meeting. Here as an adjective, right? We can have a pre-meeting coffee, a pre-meeting lunch. Can we have a pre-meeting discussion just to make sure we've got all our ducks lined up in a row? I love that expression. Get your ducks lined up in a row means that you and me are going to say the same thing, right? We're singing from the same hymn sheet, different expressions. Anyway, prefixes, pre-meeting, pre-cooked, or to pre-cook, right, as a verb. So pre-cooked means that you have cooked it beforehand, before doing something. So for example, if you're going for a picnic, you may take some pre-cooked eggs or pre-cooked ham or a pre-cooked meal. So it's a meal you've cooked before the picnic, right? We're not going to take a stove and cook in nature. We take some pre-cooked food. Or I'm going to pre-cook the potatoes. That's a tip, right, that I learned, that before you fry potatoes, if you're making chips, you can pre-cook them for about 2 or 3 minutes, softens them up, makes them much nicer. Pre, right? There is a website actually called Word Example, and I will just share this link. Copy the link. How do I copy the link? Come on. Oh, okay, let me take this because I want to put it into Google Chrome because that's what I'm using at the moment. No, come up here. And guys, moderators, if you want to share this as well, it's wordexample.com. Let me just show you. Wordexample.com is a pretty impressive website. Italian. Why is it offering me Italian? Oh, it's scary, right? How they're tracking me. Word example. I was looking at Italian shirts. Words with prefix. So here in Word Example, you can find lots of examples of words with prefixes and suffixes. The morpheme, that's the linguistic term. So the morpheme is the letters, the prefix, pre, tends to mean before. Some of the most representative words are predict, prepare, preheat stuff, yeah. But then in this website, you've got a whole list. Just be careful that not all of these words are not all changing the meaning. So some, like predictably, kind of from Latin, yes, but preach, for example, preach is not changing the meaning. You can't see that, it's too small. A lot of these words, the meaning is not changed. So just be careful with these. But it's nice. It can give lots of information about the words if you don't know them. Preventive. It's a nice website, lots of information, good reference, right? Word Example. Go and check it out. Thanks, moderators, for sharing if you can. Excellent. So just going back then to prefixes. Here's another one. We're just going to share a couple that people have come up with pre. Yeah. Emmy says pre-elementary school. Yes. Great. Preview or a preview, says Teresia. Yeah, it's to view beforehand. Absolutely. Pre-test as well. Well done. Great. Mr. Hacker, thank you for your comment. Okay, great. Now, see, I've answered you. Prefixes. Post. Later or after. So post tends to mean later or after something. So post-meeting in the same way. Can we have a post-meeting discussion? So this could be as an adjective. Postpone, you probably know, right? As a verb. Let's postpone the meeting. Let's postpone the exam. IELTS have postponed the exam, which means to delay, basically, right? To delay. Postgraduate is after graduating. So that is a noun. A postgraduate is a student who has already graduated. So they are postgraduated. They have finished their bachelor's degree. So if you're a master's student or a PhD, you are a postgraduate. Postmortem, if you watch CSI and all of those crime thrillers, the postmortem is where they analyze the body after death. Post, after, mortem, death. Okay. What others have we got? Postpartum, yes, after birth. Very good, Claude. Excellent, nice. What else? We've got lots with pre. Postmodern, yep, Ray. We do talk about postmodernism. Postmodern as an adjective. So postmodern, a piece of art, for example, let's say this you could describe as Could you describe this as postmodernism? I don't know. Is that postmodernism? My picture is a postmodern picture. It's a postmodern piece of art. Yep, so you could say postmodern. Absolutely. What else? Post office. No, not post office. Post office is 2 words, right? Prefixes are 1 word. But thank you for that, Mohammed. That really helps us see. It's for 1 word, not 2 words. Very interesting, but very, very nice. Good. I'm glad you shared that with us. Others? Yes. Let's move on. Miss. Miss equals wrongly. So we said before, misunderstand. You can understand something, but maybe you misunderstand if you understand it incorrectly. Misinformation is like fake news. It's the wrong information. Dis means opposite or not. So I agree, I disagree is the opposite. I do not agree. Dishonest, right, as an adjective means I am not honest. I am a liar. Not true. To disagree, dishonest, and so forth. Luam, postpone is the same as push back. Yes, let's push back the meeting. Very good, Luam. Let's just share that because that's great. To postpone, not postpone, postpone, without the H. Postpone is the same as to push back a meeting. Is to push it back to a later date. Nice. Okay, excellent. We've got disobedient. Well, misinformation equals a PBC. Sometimes we've got, come on, discharge. Where was disobedient? Pradeep, we had you. Disobedient. Misadvise. Yep. Misconception, right? Is the wrong conception, the wrong idea. Disappointed is a suffix, yes. But it's different from appointed, right? Because appointed means that you are given a position. Disappointed just means that you're sad and you're not happy with the outcome. So it's a slightly different meaning. We can also talk about over or too much and under as too little. So overcook as a verb, to overcook something. To be overweight. So overcook the vegetables. In England, we love to overcook the vegetables. You cook them for too long. Overweight can lead to, if you are overweight, it can lead to obesity. To overreact is when you react too strongly or too much, right? Somebody's 2 minutes late and the person waiting gets really angry and says, I'm never going to speak to you ever again. Hang on, I'm just 2 minutes late. I mean, don't overreact. Under, meaning too little. Undercook, right? Cook too short a time. I think the Italians like to undercook the pasta. al dente, I think they call it, so that it's slightly hard. It's seen as a good thing, right? In Italy, to undercook the pasta. In some countries, undercooking is a bad thing. It depends on your taste. Underestimate as a verb. Don't underestimate me. Means to think somebody is less than what they are. Okay, great. Let's check in. What else have we got? Other similar words we might have. Al dente. Oh, Anita, you might be. You definitely have an Italian name, so thank you for confirming it was al dente. Underrated is a good one, right? It means it's actually better than what you say. You've rated it too low. It's underrated. Overconfident, if it's possible. Some people are overconfident, right? Be careful in your exam. Don't be overconfident. Overdo is a nice one from Deepika. As I said at the start, do you remember I was doing some exercise and I hurt my arm because I overdid it? I was doing too much exercise. I was over-exercising, overdoing it. Yeah. These suffixes are of Latin origin, says Rani. Yes, correct. Most of them, yes. I'm not 100% sure if it's all of them, but most of them, yes. Here's a nice one, the underdog. Do you remember that? We talked about that in the competitions, right? The underdog. Undergraduate, also underline, put a line. Undergraduate, we talked about postgraduate, undergraduate. Notice it's not an overgraduate. It's a postgraduate. Undergraduate. Misbehavior is a good one, or misbehave. Yes, thank you for that. Great. Oh, there's lots here. You've got loads. Undergo. In the past, underwent. Underdog. Brilliant. Lots of them. And just to finish up, means again. If you want to rewrite something or reread something or redo something, then you do it again. Fantastic. Great. So listen, guys, all of these prefixes can be really useful to build up your vocabulary, and you can use them in lots and lots of different ways, right? So just a comment, just to make this clear. I don't get to see all of your messages that you're chatting, right? I pick out the ones that I can see. I don't see all of them. So I encourage you, those of you who are getting angry because I'm not answering your message, I encourage you to chill out. It's not I'm ignoring you. I'm not. It's just I can't see the message. But just to leave that with you. Now then, let's move on. Questions. I'm going to come back to some questions. Let me share this with you because we talked about live questions that we've had. Questions from Facebook. Now, that's what I want to look at because actually we've been looking at language tips. I want to go back to the questions from Facebook. I want to share 2 or 3 questions. They're mostly about IELTS, and I picked them out because I thought they were very relevant. And let's just see the answers that I gave to these, and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's have a look, and that gives me a chance to have a little drink. So these were on Facebook yesterday, I think, right? Interesting questions. Let me share these with you. So I'm going to get the ball rolling by having a look at some questions that students have asked me on the Facebook page for today's session. Later, we'll be looking at some of your live questions, but just to get things moving. So first of all, Ahmed Faris asked me, does it matter if you speak British or American English in IELTS? Because I have a cute mixture of them. Well, the quick answer is no, it doesn't matter. You can speak with a British accent or with an American accent. You can use British vocabulary or American vocabulary. It doesn't matter in IELTS speaking. Of course, in IELTS writing, you have to be careful to choose one kind of English. So if you're using an American spelling, stick with American spelling. Don't change, or stick with British spelling. But when it comes to speaking, lots of people mix both the accent and the language and vocabulary. Absolutely fine. Next question from Hassan Al Mahalim. My question, if you don't mind, I do not. Is it possible to ask a question with when in the present perfect tense? When? Right, interesting question. Well, let's have a look. Have you been... Here's an example of the present perfect, right? Have you been to London? That's an example. You cannot say, when have you been to London? When have you been to London? You see, as soon as you want to know the time, we talk in the past simple. When did you go to London? I went last year. Whoops, small letter. When did you go to London? Right? So generally speaking, with when, because you're giving a specific time, we don't use the present perfect. I'm not sure if that's 100% rule, but by and large, because present perfect for experiences, right? I've been to London. When did you go? I've read that book. When did you read it? When tends to be with the simple past. So I think the quick answer is no, usually, but I'm not sure that it's a rule that's 100% true. Great, let's move on. We've got from Kandil Sajid, how do I motivate myself to practice again for IELTS? Well, I think a great way to get motivated is to join a community, to get other people to help you. Come and join the Facebook group. It's Keith's IELTS mastermind community for IELTS speaking. I think when you've got other people sharing your problems, your challenges, your desires and goals, it's much easier to get motivated. Having a speaking partner who you can share desire, goal, problems, ideas with, it all helps you to get motivated. Now, next question. Pepsi Cola. Would you recommend some tips or ways to practice speaking without a partner? Yes, and I think I wrote a blog article about this. So some of the things you can do is, first of all, you can just practice repeating when you listen to a video or an audio. You can practice repeating and changing words. You can practice recording your voice when you're giving an answer, and then just listening back. I'm a big fan of flashcards, right? You can write down questions on flashcards, mix them up, and then pick out one by chance so that it's a surprise and give an answer. Record yourself, listen back, and evaluate yourself. You can practice speaking into a mirror. It's great for pronunciation, great for two things. One, pronunciation, you can see your mouth if it's moving like it should be, or are you speaking like this? And also you can get used to eye contact and to having eyes looking at you like an examiner, right? Other ways to practice speaking, use a mask, pretend to be somebody else, pretend to be a famous celebrity or an actor or somebody you know speaking in English. Changing your identity, having a mask is a great way to practice. Great, moving on. What else have we got? Did we have one more? We had Milan Standaranga. What is the most suitable way of watching an English conversation? With subtitles or without? When I watch with subtitles, I always try to look at the subtitles, but I feel like it's not a way to improve listening. Well, absolutely. You're right. If you're looking at the subtitles, that's helping your reading because you're reading subtitles. This is a difficult question. I would say, without a doubt, if you're watching a subtitle film, first of all, if it's in English, make sure the subtitles are in English, not in your own language. Otherwise, you're translating. I would tend to watch first with subtitles. If your level's intermediate, then it can just help you out. try and avoid reading them all the time. But even if you do, it's helping you make the connection between listening to the sounds and the written word. So it's still very good for you. But if now and again you can take your eyes up above the subtitles, or even put your hand up now and again and just try to listen, then that's a good idea. If you, it depends on your focus. I think if you can watch without subtitles and still understand enough to follow it, that's also a great activity. It's good because it gets you used to being without the support. Because when you go out into the street and speak to somebody, you don't have subtitles coming up in front of them. So you need to get used to that without the support. I think it's a balance, you know, sometimes with, sometimes without. Anything else? I think that's it. Oh, we've got one from Asim Tanvir. How to recover if you go blank during the speaking test. Take a deep breath. Forget everything you've said. Doesn't matter what's happened, doesn't matter where you are. Ask the examiner to repeat the question. Pause, take your time, take 2 or 3 seconds to think and relax. Most times the examiner will know you've panicked and will say, just relax, take your time. Right? Most examiners want to help you do the best you can. So the thing is not to be thinking about, oh, I've made a mistake. Oh, I've done it wrong. No, stop. You are where you are. Breathe and just push forward. But use that trick. Say to the examiner, can you repeat the question? Or what do you mean exactly? Or just say, oh, I'm so nervous. The examiner knows, but sometimes just telling the examiner helps you. Oh, I'm so nervous. Could you repeat the question? Thanks. And then go forward. Stay focused. Not easy, I know. But listen, those are some questions from you. Let's move on and get some live questions. Indeed, let's come back and get some live questions. Thank you very much for all of you who posted in Facebook and shared your questions there. Very, very interesting. So a few more live questions and comments that came up. Some interesting questions I've just noticed. One is, what is the meaning of your name? Great question. So my name is actually a Scottish name. Keith originally comes from Scotland, which is interesting because I'm actually from an Irish background. My surname O'Hare is Irish, but Keith means forest or wood. Yes, forest. And I am guessing that my father had no idea of the meaning of the word when he chose it. Although I quite like it, right? Forests are great things. But it's interesting. In England, a lot of people don't think about the meaning of the name. They just choose a name that sounds cool or hip or popular. A lot of people don't actually know what their name means. Unlike, for example, in China. Oh my God, when our daughter was born in China, we, my wife and family members, invited or uninvited, spent days and weeks researching the meaning of the names and the best name that would give her a auspicious future and a happy life. And it was so complicated. The attention to meaning was overwhelming. But in England, it's like, Keith, that sounds good. Yeah, easy. Keith, great. You're Keith. Oh, okay. Great. Ciao. Jung. Can you introduce some web which have vocabulary at C1 level? I thought that's an interesting question because I am a big fan of the work that the BBC do. Maybe because I'm British, but I don't know if you know this website, and it's. Let me share it with you. Actually, let me just show you on the Google. It's BBC. If you Google BBC Learning English, right, you'll find it. And they've got these courses. And if you go to the courses section, right? There's all different courses, but you can get intermediate, upper intermediate towards advanced. So if you're C1, probably upper intermediate or maybe towards advanced, right? But what they have is a whole course, and you can open the unit selector, and it's a course of like 20 units, 30 different units. So you can follow this course all the way through. They've got great lessons, session 1, session 2. They pull on lots of their resources, pronunciation. But the nice thing then is if you want your vocabulary reference, you can get it here and practice all the vocabulary that comes up. And if you wanted to get the grammar reference, to review the grammar that comes up in that session, it's all here. I mean, it's amazing. And it's free. It's all there for free. So you can check out Learning English, BBC courses, different levels. It's the bee's knees, right? It's top notch. Absolutely amazing. So go and check it out. I hope that can help. Cello says, hello, Keith. I love you. I really learned a lot from you. That's nice. Thank you very, very much. There was another question that I liked. And Suhud, thank you for your comment and congratulations. You got an 8 overall. Congratulations. That is very, very good. Well done. Naja says, Keith, can you please speak in another language that you know? Well, that's put me on the spot. Sí, claro que sí. Te puedo hablar un poquito en español y decirte que estoy viviendo aquí en Santander y llevo más o menos 3 meses aquí. Y me encanta. Me encanta la playa, la ciudad, el clima está fenomenal. And that's just me talking about where I live. in which language? Can you guess? In Spanish, of course. Now, there was another question that I liked. Where was it? Yes, it was this one. Mohammed Shamsu Suzua. Would you please mention about eye contact during the speaking test? Sure. Eye contact in the speaking test for me is the same as eye contact in real life. Eye contact when you're speaking to anybody, whether it's an interview, a boss, a meeting, friends, IELTS speaking. It's important. It's me with my tea. It's important. Excuse me. It's important. It's important because it's a key part of your communication, right? Your eye contact, your facial expression, your gestures. I'm using one arm because this arm still hurts, but your gestures, they're an important part of communication. And I think, yes, it's very important. So eye contact, my suggestion is look at the examiner like this, right? So I think you make some eye contact now and again, not all the time staring because you make the person uncomfortable. And don't be like, no, never looking at the examiner. So it's not a criteria in IELTS speaking, but it is a criteria in communication skills. And across the board, you should develop that skill, right? Practice that skill. Interestingly enough, Saturday's video is being a great communicator in English. And I talk about eye contact and lots of other things. So look out for that on Saturday, the communication skills video coming your way. Great. Mobina, how can I predict all the topics of speaking? You can't because, well, okay. The topics change every 4 months, right? So they will change again in September. They don't all change. Some of the previous topics stay the same. There will be some new topics and there will be some recycling of older topics. But you can't predict. You never know. And I wouldn't worry too much about it. When you're studying, just study a wide range of different topics so that you're familiar with all the different topics we talk about in daily life, right? Um, by looking at past topics, you can get an idea. You can probably look at how society is changing and guess what are becoming popular topics, right? Online learning. We're moving from offline to online in business, in learning, education, life, family. So these kind of trends in our lives possibly will also come up, right? Of course, there are certain websites you can go to and they will tell you these are the new topics. Can you trust them? I don't know. It's very difficult because nobody really knows until the tests begin. And then, of course, you can ask other students, but I don't think that should be your focus. I think your focus should be getting better at English, full stop. Learn the exam technique, but don't be practicing memorized questions for different, memorized answers for different questions, right? Okay. Great. Any other question coming up? Smillies, another band 8. Congratulations. Well done. Okay, good. You're answering each other's questions. That's nice. Pradeep, the jingle's still there. Oh, Alka. Keith, tomorrow is my IELTS listening, reading, writing test. Please suggest a specific strategy to get the desired scores. Alka, I'm going to be honest with you. Your question is far too late. If you asked me 3 months ago, possibly I could help. But all you can do is the preparation. How do you get your desired score is you prepare. You prepare well. You find a teacher or somebody who can help you see your weaknesses, where you need to focus, and tell you the gap between where you are now and where your desired score is, and help you get there. Strategy is practice, practice, study, practice, turn up every day, keep going. It's a long-term investment in your study. If your test is tomorrow, I would say relax this evening. It's a marathon test. You need all your energy and focus, so do not study tonight. It's not going to help you, seriously. You may be thinking, oh, I can learn just another 100 words tonight. It's not going to help you. Relax, watch a film in English or read a book in English. Do something enjoyable in English so you're in the mindset. And then tomorrow, wake up early, have a good breakfast, get mentally prepared. I've got a video about getting mentally prepared on YouTube. And then enjoy the test, right? Just go in there, do your best, enjoy it, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, great. Other questions? Oh, let's see. Not sure what that means. Okay, Trang. This is a common thing. I'm speaking too fast, which gets me nervous, and words jumble up like crazy. What can I do to improve it? It's like an irritating habit. Yeah, this is a common problem. To make it clear to everybody, it's not just now, but you're saying generally, I speak too fast, right? Generally speaking, I speak too fast. So that is a common problem. I speak too fast, which makes me nervous, and words jumble up like crazy. One of the best things you can do, I think, here is really, really, really record yourself and take maybe a passage or an answer or a topic that you're talking about, and talk about it for a minute and record yourself, and then listen back. Then repeat it again. But as you repeat it, and it doesn't matter if it's a bit different, it's not to get the same answer. But the second time you repeat it, consciously slow down. Just focus on slowing down and record yourself. And then do it a third time. A third time where you slow down that it makes you uncomfortable, right? So let's take an example. Maybe I talk about my hometown and I say, well, I live in Santander. It's a beautiful city. It's by the coast. I've been here for about 3 years and I really like it. Second time, I'm speaking more slowly, consciously. I live in Santander. It's a beautiful city. It's by the coast. I've been here for about 3 years and I really like it. And I'm recording and listening back. The third time, I go so slowly that it's painful. I come from Santander. It's a coastal city and I've been here for 3 years and it's a place that I really like. And what you're going to notice probably is your control of pronunciation has problems. And by going more slowly, you actually have to focus really carefully on your pronunciation. One of the reasons people speak fast is because they don't control the pronunciation and they think, or it helps them disguise that. But once you slow down, it forces you to work really hard on pronunciation. And just the habit of speaking more slowly, maybe once or twice every day in your practice, will help you. So it's about changing your habit. It's about deliberately speaking too slow, far too slow, to push you back. And then when you're in conversation, you just speak normally again. Does that make sense? I hope so. Give it a go and let me know how it goes. Great question, Trung. Thank you very much. Now, before what? I'm going to move on because we have talked, we've done lots of questions there. We've done questions from Facebook. We've done some language tips, right? We've done more Q&A. I think it's time for a visualization. I've noticed that my efforts to finish after an hour have gone belly up. They've not worked at all. It seems like whatever I do, it's going to be an hour and a half. It's like destiny is pushing me to give an hour and a half every time. I'm going to do a visualization with you. And this one is, well, if you're new here, welcome. This is a bit weird, right? It's a little bit strange, but a lot of people like it because it helps them relax. It's really important when you're studying English to relax. If you're tense and stressed, your learning is lower. I mean, there is research on this, that the more relaxed you are, the better that you learn. By doing a kind of a visualization, which is where you close your eyes and you imagine things in your head, and I talk to you and you act out what I say in your head. It's a bit like a dream and I'm guiding you and you hear the words. Just helps you review the words, review the language and absorb it a little bit. I don't think you can learn English by sleeping. I think if you listen to me while you're sleeping, I don't think that works. There is research that says it doesn't work. It has some impact in before REM. In the 10 minutes as you're falling to sleep, it has some impact, but it's not very significant. So people who say learn English when sleeping, it doesn't work. There's no research around that. But I believe around visualizations that yes, they can help. But most of all, because they help you relax. So I'm going to do a visualization. It's about the topic of cities, and I'm going to talk you through it. Open your mind, close your eyes if you want, I think it helps. And let's go on a journey to relax you with this visualization. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready? Give me a second. Let me find the visualization. This is it. Open your mind, relax, and just listen and do what I say in your mind. Here we go. Now it's going. Imagine suddenly you are slap bang in the middle of a city, but your eyes are closed. What can you hear? Before we begin our journey around this city, I think we should take the chance to close our eyes and relax, to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Relax and notice your breath entering and leaving you. Roll your shoulders a couple of times and roll your head clockwise. And now roll your head anti-clockwise. And again one more time. Now, without opening your eyes, but in your mind, look around you. You're standing in the street, well, on the pavement, not in the middle of the street. It's a city you have never been to before. As you look around at the buildings, a mix of houses, flats and skyscrapers, you can guess it's located in Europe. Most likely the north of Europe. The climate is cool and the overcast sky tells you that it rains quite a lot here. You decide to cross the street. You look right and then left and then cross. There are not too many cars at this time of day. It's mid-morning. Little congestion. Little pollution. Little traffic. The rush hour is over and most people are at work, stuck in their offices, in those tall skyscrapers. How lucky you are to be outside, free from the daily grind of work and routine. The few cars that pass by are really nice cars, Audis, Mercedes-Benz. It seems that you are in an affluent neighbourhood, or maybe the whole city has a high standard of living. There are metro entrances, car parks, and a variety of shopping outlets on this street. This must be close to the city centre. As you cross the street, you notice there are a lot of hotels here too. This city must rely a lot on tourism, a place that attracts plenty of holidaymakers. And then, suddenly, you see an appealing building in front of you. A tall structure with an old-fashioned facade made of red brick. It looks quite posh. What do you think it is? Do you want to go inside? Come on, let's venture inside. The entrance has an impressive atrium with a high ceiling and lots of bright light shining in. You can hear the echo of people's voices, the click-clack of shoes hitting the tiled floor. What else can you hear? And then, of course, it dawns on you. You realize this is a museum. It's so peaceful. You stroll into one of the exhibition rooms. You feel relaxed, at ease. There's hardly anyone here. You can stroll around slowly, take in a few paintings without any hassle. It's so nice to see the creativity and inspiration dotted on the walls. You breathe deeply. After a short while, we decide to leave the museum and walk back out onto the street. You calmly go down some quiet back streets. And look, there's a small coffee bar on one corner. A small cafe tucked away off the beaten track. You can see the soft lights inside and hear gentle jazz music coming out of the window. Let's pop inside and have a rest. Take off your coat, sit down and relax in the comfy sofa. You are super relaxed and can smell the soft aroma of coffee in the air. But I'm afraid it's time to leave the cafe and this wonderful city. After I count to 3, you will come back to the classroom or wherever you are now. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Open your eyes and welcome back. Indeed, welcome back. Here we are, right. Well, I hope that can relax you. Some people are asking, is this an English lesson or a meditation lesson? Well, both. A bit of both. It's a relax while you learn lesson. Relax and learn English. Lots of really interesting expressions there about cities, so you can always come back and listen to it again. And if you're stressed out, this would be lovely. The day before your test, you want something relaxing but in English, listen to a visualization. That would really help you. So that picture, I think it was actually France. And the picture of the crocodile, somebody was asking, what's the crocodile? That's Lacoste. Lacoste is a brand. It's a famous clothing brand. They make quite expensive shirts. And it's a French one, so I think that was France. Excellent. Welcome back. I hope that relaxed you. Learning in different ways, right? So, guys, today we've done a lot. I mean, we've had some really interesting questions, right, from all of you today. We've had, where are we? Let me go back. We've been looking at live questions. You've asked me lots of stuff about IELTS, about a little bit about me, but more about IELTS. I think IELTS is more interesting than me. Absolutely. We've been looking at questions from Facebook. So guys, thank you for those. And if you've not joined Facebook, just to remind you, you can come over here and join us at the Keith's Mastermind community for IELTS Speaking. Please do also check out my Facebook page. Give it a like or follow. It helps spread the word so more people can know about it, right? We've been looking at language tips, and today we've focused on prefixes. Things like misunderstand, disinformation, reuse, recycle. Somebody had the 3, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Somebody commented that. Great examples. And we've done more questions. And we've just finished up with a visualization to help you relax and get ready for bed. For those of you who are going to sleep soon, please don't doze off in the lesson if you can help it. So just to remind you that the website I have is Keith Speaking Academy. Lots of materials there. You can go and check it out. Go and have a look at it. It's got everything you could possibly need to know about IELTS. And if you want to study with me there, I don't do one-on-one classes, but you can find out about my online courses. There's the Band 9 course, Band 7 course, and there's also a fluency course, which is a slightly more general course as well. Okay, so you can go and check those out at the Keith Speaking Academy. I'm going to kind of wind up now. I've just seen Yappy. That's great. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Oh, this is interesting. Bagdalet, what, if I can get you in screen, what would be your best advice for young English teachers? Ooh, best advice for young English teachers would be to invest in getting qualified. Depends on what kind of a teacher you are. But qualification is so important. So get your qualification. If you can get a mentor, somebody to mentor you, it's so useful. You can save so much time and stress by having a mentor help you out. I would try and do those. And find a good teacher's book. In English language teaching, we have a few. There's the Jeremy Harmer book, Jim Scrivener, Inside Teaching. Maybe I can just show you. It depends on how experienced you are, actually, but there are some different books you can find out there. Oh dear. Tim Bowen, is it? Inside Teaching? Yes. It's this one. I'll just show you very briefly. Inside Teaching, the Teacher Development Series by Tim Bowen, Jonathan Marks. If you've already been teaching for a couple of years, this is a great book. It goes back. It's been around a long time, but it's endless. It's timeless. It's really worth having a look at, I would say. Great. Good. Let me take you off. Thanks. Good question, Bagdalet. How can I contact you with you, Luki? You can contact me through Facebook, through the Facebook group. Come and join the Facebook group or leave a message on the Facebook page. That's my main means of communication. No Kahoot today, Arda. No. Because why? Because I didn't think I had a lot of language I could test you on, but never mind. Maybe next time. I think I do have a variety of Vietnamese fans, yes. Okay, good. Anything else to finish on? Is the course, this is a good question, is it a live online course? No, it's not live. The online course is self-access. So you can access the recorded videos and PDFs and some MP3s, and you can study those at your own pace anytime. It is not live lessons. No, it's a recorded course, but it's still very good. Right. Oh, there's lots of more questions coming in, but we are going to have to finish up. I'll finish up with hearts and hearts. Wow, amazing. Remy, thank you very much. Listen, guys, we're going to finish here today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like the question and answer kind of lesson, I'm very happy to do this maybe once a month or something like that. Let me know if you think it's a good idea, and then we can do more. Next week, we will be back to live lessons with a topic and a theme. Do let me know what topics you're interested in. Leave a message here below. And then we'll be back on Thursday with a lovely live lesson for you. Remember, the live lessons, you can go on the website again and you can get the PDFs and access the material. I think I had shown you, but let me just make sure you know where to go. So when you go onto the website, look for the free live lessons at the top up here, click there, and you can access the latest lesson here. To click, study, download, or watch, and then the others are down there as well. Okay, so that will be on the website in 3 or 4 hours. Takes a bit of time to get it ready. In the meantime, thank you so much. It's been lovely being here with you. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. All the best. Bye-bye now. Wow. It's thirsty work.